Call to order the Brandon board meeting on March 20th, 2023. Can I get a roll call vote?
Jane?
Here.
Lisa with notice. Absent with notice. Herb? Here. Kim?
Here.
Here.
Jeff, yes.
Here.
Carly?
Here.
Dan?
Here.
All right. Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So first up, we have BHS student reports. Caleb. Caleb? You heard yet? He's not here yet. Okay, we can come back. Late. You might be late. That's the superintendent report.
Right. Good evening. It was really nice to hear little children's voices in the playground. Thank you for being here. That was really nice. First, I'd like to introduce Leslie Hildebrand. She's here this evening to speak to us about the BHS STEM overnight class trip for the MDOT bridge competition. Thank you, Leslie.
I brought you some bridges. These are tested bridges, you know, they've been broken. So you guys can look at the things. I did make you some. These are some proposals. These are their engineering proposals that they had, right? So like different groups that I don't think I bought Stella stuff. I grabbed the ones I could find in the lab. So every year since we started STEM in 2009, we have gone to the MDOT track bridge competition in Lansing. We start in October, developing groups and picking groups. The kids are groups of 3. The kids work on computer drafting, engineering, and the biggest year is a tight arch bridge. Those are tight arch bridges. And they have to design and build a tight arch bridge and then write those. That's the hard part right there. So they write an engineering proposal. They average between 25 and 50 pages long. And then if the engineers accept their proposal, they're invited to go to the state competition. So this year we had 53 STEM kids. Well, 54, but 1 can't go. Kids that have been accepted to the state competition. So we have 18 people going. So the state pays the state and Bentley, who does the computer drafting program that we use. We have to use the program. They pay for the kids to spend the night and their food and everything and the busing overnight to Lansing. This year's in Lansing. We go to the Capital Center, compete against other high schools throughout the state. The kids get an overnight at the Radisson for the trip. And it's the culmination. So that's where the competition. We spend the night, we get up in the morning. The kids will break those are just prototypes. The kids have built multiple decks and multiple full bridge, just test them to try to see what they want to build. And they will go in a testing room and they'll test their bridges with engineers. So these are like, the cool part is they're working with real engineers that are out in the field working, and they take a day off and come work with the kids. They test them and then they do a strength to weight ratio. And then the kids go in a room with 3 engineers and they present and they get scored on their presentation and their bridge, how strong the bridge was. And then it's a combined score. And from that combined score, they place the kids throughout the state. We're competing in the 9-10 division with all freshmen now in the 9-10 division. But we're pretty. I know we do all right. We do all right. So we're just here to get approval for the kids to spend the night with us. It's at the Lansing Radisson. We walk across it's a connected walkway. We go to the Capital Center and compete. So it's the kids don't have to pay anything, just everything's covered. We'll leave after practices on that Wednesday, and then we'll get up Thursday morning at I get them up at 5:36. We're up and rolling, and they're all competing by 9. So any questions?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
very cool. It's a cool, they learn so much about themselves and just by doing the presentations, it's fun to see the kids that are competitive kind of kick into that gear. I always say kind of brace the nerd. When we go there, they get really into they want to win and they want to do well against other schools. So it's a fun competition that the kids like. So that was my spiel. Any questions?
No, it's a great motivator for them. Thank you.
It is very, very cool. So. Can I leave that there? Or do you want me to take those?
Yeah, but you can take them if you want, or leave them.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Can I take their papers or do I need the papers?
Sure.
Oh, I love these projects.
Yeah, they're great.
It is huge. It's a really cool project. But we've been working on it for 6 months now, so.
Yeah.
And Stella's coming this week. So. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, we can flip that back because our student rep is here. Did you want to present, Caleb?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Good afternoon. I'm here on behalf of the student council. Good afternoon. My name is Caleb Twing. I'm our treasurer.
I'll turn that on.
Oh, yeah,
Caleb. On the side,
on the side. Okay.
yes.
Do you mind if I step over you?
Not at all.
Sorry, just making it easier to see.
Yeah.
No way I come up with something printed, but I forgot to. So what's going on right now? We just started our new committee cycle. We finished our snow coming. And everything after that, we just started our new ones. Right now we have Star Awards, which is going to be awards for our seniors. Stuff like most likely to, who's the best, all that. Our senior banquet, which is an in-council event where we celebrate the leaving of all of our seniors. Our spirit committee to plan our spirit trip. Normally we do Cedar Point or Urban Air. We still decided this year, but that'll be happening soon. Our angel closet, which is a new one for us. We've opened up a closet inside the school for people who need some help or anything. So that's a new committee for us. And our service, which this year we're going to do Ellen bags, which I think we'll talk about more next meeting. Our spirit week, which is this week. Today was our beach day, which I've demonstrated for you. Sorry, I'm not fancy, but tomorrow is our rhyme without a reason day, which we've never tried something like this, so it's really interesting for us. Pair up with a partner and then you try to like make an outfit that rhymes. So like I'm doing Taylor Swift and Graveyard Shift. So it's fun stuff like that. And then Wednesday is something that we really wanted to try because we know our student body loves Netflix and stuff like that. So we're doing an Outer Things Day, which is mostly just country versus country club. It's gonna be pretty fun. And then our outdoor fit day is just like pajamas, comfy clothes. And then spring break is next week. Around the school right now, there's spring sports happening. There's a choir concert tomorrow. And then congrats to the math team who took home second place at the U of M math field day. And also, I forgot to add this, but I do want to talk about challenge day because that was super fun. I wasn't able to go. There was something in Prevost, but I wasn't able to attend. But everyone I talked to was like super emotional about it. Everybody loved it. And I just heard it was amazing, but yeah.
Right.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Caleb. With that, then I'd like to introduce Mrs. Coy Stewart. She has a very special guest with her who spent some time in the district today and will be again tomorrow, and we are thrilled. So Mrs. Stewart, if you could please fill us in.
I will. So I get the honor of introducing to you Emmy Kastner. She is an author, published children's author, and the best part of that is that she's also a Brandon graduate. So she was a Harvey Swanson student and a Brandon graduate, and now she is an author that decided to spend some time with us here in Brandon during March's Reading Month. So I will say that this is Jessica Hebble's baby. She was able to reach out and reach Emmy and get her scheduled to come spend some time with us. So she spent the whole entire day, very gracious with her time. She went home and took a nap before the meeting. But she spent the whole day with large group assemblies, and then she even spent a good chunk of time in each of our fourth grade classrooms doing writers workshops with all of our fourth graders. And she's going to repeat and do the same thing with Harvey Swanson tomorrow. So we're going to recognize her for the amazing author that she is, and that she's been so gracious, like I said, to spend so much time with us. But I wanted to introduce you to her and let you kind of hear a little bit about her story. And ask her any questions if you'd like. So enough of me, and I'd like to introduce you to Emmy Kastner.
Thank you for your support. I'm just so excited to be here. Thanks for the recognition. I'm so proud of being a Brandon grad. I was speaking of like high school spirit stuff. I was like most class spirited when I was a Brandon senior in 2000, and it remains. I'm just so proud of Brandon and growing up here and giving back, being with students today meant so much to me. And so when I graduated, I went to Western Michigan University, I became a teacher. I taught high school science and English for a handful of years, and then always wanted to be a writer. And so growing up, I just am so grateful for all my teachers who saw that in me. My heart is with Carrie Losey, who was my 5th and 6th grade teacher. And she saw that I wanted to be a writer, and she gave me the tools and the support and the encouragement to do it. And so even in 6th grade, she gave me, she's like, I know you love to write. There's this like national competition for poetry. You should submit something. You could be in a book. And I was like, that's what I want. I want to be in a book. And so we did it. And my poem was in a book in 6th grade. And Carrie was just, it's funny calling her Carrie because she was my teacher. But now as an adult, I can call her Carrie. But no, she was just so great and supportive. And just growing up, was really fun to talk to Coy and other teachers today about different teachers that I had at Harvey Swanson and throughout school. So it means a lot. So after I was done as a teacher, I became an author and illustrator full time. So I spend my days illustrating and writing children's books. And so the best part is sharing them with students. So I do a lot of school visits, encouraging, reading and writing. We're all writers, we're all readers, even if you don't want to grow up and be a professional. Whatever you do in your life, I'm confident that being a strong writer and a strong reader will lead to great things. And so being able now, it just feels very full circle. I've been emotional all day, just like being back here where it all started for me. So I'm really excited to be back at Harvey Swanson tomorrow and just to address you all. And thank you for the work that you're doing at Brandon, and keep it up. Do you have questions for me? I'm happy. If you don't, that's okay too.
I just want to thank you for coming and spending that time with us. That is just so great and so awesome for our kids to see what they can do. And, even if they don't want to be a writer, just showing what you can gain and, do. I think that's amazing. And thank you for, spending time with us.
Anytime. I'm happy to come back. Thank you.
Emmy offered the opportunity for our students to purchase some of her books ahead of time and then be autographed by her.
Oh, yeah.
We have purchased a full set of your books for each of our libraries at both elementary schools, so that we can be sure to share all your wonderfulness for years to come. So-
Right. I did take a nap after the visit today, and I forgot to bring it up.
Let's bring it tomorrow. You know where we are.
There's our responsibility to drop them off too. And I'm so grateful for that. The books, I live in Kalamazoo now, and the bookstore owner was just so moved that you reached out and got full sets, and that just means a lot too. For my books, it's again, it's very trippy, for my books to be in the hands of young students at Brandon. So thank you so
Great.
much.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And she did assign our students homework today too. So I really appreciated that.
Nice.
Yeah. They're gonna send me the stuff that they're writing, and we're very excited about
Oh,
that.
that's great.
Yeah. We'll put a whole thing together too. So you might have a package of stories
Oh.
from our time together.
That would be
Heads up.
great.
Spoiler alert.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, next we have Principal Mike Tucker from BMS to share a presentation with us. Thanks, Mike.
This reach over here, Maria, or should I move over there? Will it reach?
Yes, it will reach.
Evening, everyone. So I was asked to talk about an aspect of Brandon Middle School, and there's something that we're bringing back. We haven't done it in a few years because of COVID and our calendar, and it's transition day. But transition day it's when the 5th graders come over to the building. 6th and 7th and 8th graders are gone. They're gone for the day. And we have activities, games for them to do, and it's May 18th. It's a half a day, and show you some of the things that we're going to do. Transition day is very important because we have 2 elementaries that are different. Harvey Swanson has the restrooms outside. Oakwood has the restrooms inside the classroom. Harvey has the lockers out in the hallways, Oakwood has it inside the room that covers. So it's two different cultures that our buildings have that have to transition into one. And since we closed BFIS, it's been more difficult to get them all in there together. So we're hoping that we can start transition day. So what is it? Transition day is a day for all incoming sixth graders to become acclimated to BMS in a stress-free, friendly environment that will help ease their tension and anxiety on the first days of school. So all we're doing, they're just literally running around the building. I've got them doing a scavenger hunt. They're going to be running around. I have it broken down. We have games, riddles, scavenger hunt, breakout sessions, and a lot more. And I'll get into each of those right now. All right, so like I said, when it first starts, about 11:30, Harvey Swanson will come over, and Harvey Swanson's going to do lunch in our cafeteria. And I picked pizza day, it's Thursday. It's always a good day to have it on Thursday. So while Harvey Swanson is eating lunch, Oakwood will do the scavenger hunt. So they get the whole run of the building by themselves, just Oakwood to run around and see what they need to do. After 25 minutes, they switch. Harvey Swanson will then go do the scavenger hunt. Oakwood will then come and eat. And then after that, we'll start our breakout sessions. And here's the breakout sessions. And I had my leadership team connect with each one of those aspects. So my leadership team reached out to each one of those in order. The leadership team is Julie Kelly, Krista Anderson, Jason Sheldon, Rebecca Colbert, Vicki Cook, and Sarah Spencer. So they've all helped me put this together. So the first one we have, the first breakout session is games with Link Crew in the gym. So now we've got high school connecting with middle school, connecting with Oakwood and Harvey as well. So we've got 3 buildings there, and that's just to have fun. They get them in the gym, and that's their acclimation to the gym. The art room with Mrs. Daniels and a couple student volunteers, they'll make some sort of little mini art project, and she'll show them the art room and the wood shop as well. The next one is science experiments with Mr. Laups, Mrs. Board, and Mrs. Bernier. They do this thing with a 5-gallon plastic tub, and Mr. Laups lights it and it explodes and sucks in, and it's really cool. So the kids love that. Athletics with our athletic director, Jesse Johnson. Our 6th graders can play 5 sports right off the bat. Cross country, track and field, bowling, swim and dive, and wrestling. They can join those right off the bat. So I want Mr. Johnson to talk to those kids about the athletics they can get into. And if we have a 7th grade team that's short, we can petition the MHSAA and bring 6th graders up. We've done that twice so far this year. Yep. Question and answer with 8th graders. So Mrs. Anderson, Mrs. Kelly already emailed the 6th, 5th grade teachers and told them, can we get your top questions that the kids want to ask? We've already put them all on a Google Doc. Those questions have been shared with the leadership kids, so they're forming their answers already. So when we have the question and answer session, it won't just be flying off the cuff, because I'm not going to guarantee what an 8th grader is going to say. So we're going to practice that before. The next one, the mental health team. You know, we've doubled that in the past few years. I want them to talk to the students about how they can help, what they're there for. Social emotional learning, change of schedule, whatever they need, that's what they're there for. And then the next one, first day jitters. That's okay. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be nervous. We want to get all this nervousness out at transition day, when they can just run around the building and feel totally free. So do me a favor, look at the scavenger hunt. See if you can answer any of those questions. I have the answer key right up here. Anyone? Bottom right corner. Number 1 rule,
Do your best.
safety.
Okay.
Can't learn if we don't feel safe. Room 202, that's our robotics room. We have 3 restrooms for the kids to use upstairs, 3 downstairs. The Kiva has 7 rows of seats. The courtyard, I have Mrs. Spencer, Mrs. Colbert do riddles, and I bought them Riddler hats and canes and t-shirts, so they're out there doing riddles. Media center, there's 19 tables. So we get them in the media center, we get them in the Kiva. We literally get them touching all the corners of the building, just so they're not confused by the size of it. And then at the end of the last breakout session, we bring them all back in the gym. Now, I just realized as doing this presentation, the point of this is to bring both of the sets of kids together, but we've done everything separate. I just realized that yesterday going through this. So I added this last bullet. I'm gonna have my leadership team help me. We're gonna have one last group activity with all the kids in the gym. And I'm not sure what we're gonna do yet, but we've got 75 Harvey, 75 Oakwood. They need to meet. They need to become friends. They need to know who each other are. So we have to figure out that last bullet before May 18th, but we're gonna do something to get them all together instead of. There's another thing I thought of, when Harvey comes here and Oakwood comes here, they only know half their classmates. So they're going into a classroom with half the kids don't even know. So that's another factor too. So we want them all to get along and know each other. And I know everybody likes food, right? So that was the transition day for the kids. This year, we're adding something on for the parents as well. So we're working with Branding Coalition. I'll get that on the next slide. So snacks, how do we bring people in? We feed them, right? So we're gonna have, my parent help group is gonna connect with the food service. We're gonna have hot dogs, chips, water bottles, granola bars from 5 to 6, like a meet and greet. And then the parents will come in at 6. Kids can come too. But then when the parents come in, now it's a transition night for them. So when they come in, the Harvey parents will have a 20-minute question and answer session with me and other staff members of what they just want to know, the nuts and bolts. The Oakwood students in the second bullet, Branding Coalition, is having a presentation called Transition Times, helping students who have big moments. And that's what that other handout is. Literally, that was just printed a week ago. I met with Courtney McLaren on Thursday or Wednesday. She got that in her hands on Tuesday. So that's less than a week old. I believe we're the first school that they're going to do this presentation for. So this is to help parents transition students in. Because we do a nice job of transitioning the kids. What have we been doing for the parents? So we're going to have 2 different sessions. And then like early in the day, they switch. Oakwood will be with me. Harvey then gets the Q&A, or Harvey then gets the Branding Coalition presentation. And then at the end, again, bring all the families together and everyone can tour the building, and I'll have BMS leadership students. They are providing the tours. And then these are the final messages for everyone, really. The BMS staff's excited, cannot wait until September 5th. That's when everyone's coming. My second bullet, BMS is not scary. It's not that big. It looks big, but it's not that scary. That's what I want the kids to not be scared when they come over. I want everybody to have fun. And then another big day is August 21st for registration. Questions? I know I kicked a lot up.
Sounds good.
Maria, you want this?
Thanks. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Ms. Tucker. All right, we also have Mr. Jason Russell here. Jason Russell is a safety and security consultant that the board has been working with. And so Jason's here this evening to share some information regarding section 97.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for inviting me. Wanted to kind of go over some of the money that the state is allocating for safety and security. Last year, the state of Michigan passed several different pieces of legislation. Section 97 is the section that the money comes from. It's basically broken into 3 different elements, and then talk about those, and I'll tell you what's coming up next year. The section 97 money is per pupil funding allocated for specifically for security. So you would have received per pupil allocation that I can't remember the exact dollar amount, but that money is intended to be used for pretty much anything safety and security related. 97C money, which was assessment money. So that would have covered actually some of the work that we did with the district over the summer. And then there was also some mapping money. It's 97D. That 97 money is slated to be in the next 2 bills or next 2 years of budget. So you should have another per pupil allocation next year. That'll be very similar to what you had this year. And the following year, there should be a 3rd year of that 97 money. They've already set aside $300 million. That'll be saved for that 97 funding over the next couple of years. So one of the things that we are doing is assisting the district, and we've completed some assessments, and I know that I'll be meeting with you in the closed session later to go over those, but also just assisting you in making decisions on how to spend it. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. So next is public comments and questions on agenda business.
No hands raised here.
Then we will move to approval of consent agenda items. Can I get a motion?
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the consent agenda as presented.
Did we read it?
Do I need to read? I don't, do we have to read all these, Maria?
No.
Okay, okay, okay.
I'm sorry, who supported?
We didn't. Nobody. Oh, Hillary did. Sorry. Make it a roll call vote.
Jane,
Yes.
Herb. Kim,
Yes.
Hillary,
Yes.
Jeff, yes, Rebecca.
Yes. Okay. Information discussion items, board reports. I would say the only item that I would talk about is we had a committee of the whole meeting last week and we did effective governance training with Brad Green. And it was really nice, informational, just kind of the ins and outs of being on the board. We have 2 new members this year, so and new superintendent. So it was a good meeting to kind of freshen up for the rest of us and get some information. And we're planning on doing another meeting with Brad Green this year. Got it. Oh, well, that wouldn't be board report.
Okay.
You attended that.
Oh, the
The.
Oakland County
Yeah.
School Board Association.
Yeah,
Do you want me to talk about that?
yeah, I guess we could say that.
Okay. Last week, Jan Zito and I attended the Oakland County School Board Association's meeting in which they were discussing the future of transportation, specifically electric buses. So it was a really interesting conversation, learning about the amount of funds that are available for grants for busing. And there are 18 electric school buses on the road already in the state of Michigan. Learned that. And then we also learned that there are $5 billion worth of money available over the next several years for electric buses. There was already a first round of issuance of that, and 138 buses are coming to Michigan next year. So pretty exciting. We're trying to understand the cost benefit over time. As you know, with any new technology, you want to be thoughtful to that when comparing to diesel buses or propane buses or whatever buses you may be running. But it was an exceptionally informative meeting. Jane and I both enjoyed it very much, and we have a lot of information that we look forward to holding on to. And when more data comes in on the use of electric vehicles over time, we'll be interested in learning even more. So.
All right, finance report.
Tonight, I'm gonna switch the order and talk to you about our custodial services. You know, we went out for bids several weeks ago, as we say, long process. We had 9 vendors bid. That was a good turnout for us. We went through the bids. The committee was Mark Evans and Rachel Davis, myself, and Jeremy Motes. We narrowed it down to interview 4 vendors. Of the 4 vendors, we asked for additional clarifications. We interviewed them, and then we narrowed it to 2 vendors. We ultimately chose ABM. We have 3 members of the ABM team with us tonight. I'll come up. I'll have them introduce them to you. I don't know if everybody had a chance, but in the board packet, there was a wonderful presentation that ABM did. We chose to put it in the board packet as opposed to going through everything tonight. But it really answers a lot of questions. So if you haven't had a chance, it might be good to check it out. I will say that this is a restart for us. We've had issues for the last year, and building funding is a priority. And the team feels very strongly that it's going to bring us what we hope to get, which is super clean buildings and professionalism and all that good stuff. One last thing for me, I did pass this out. The contract that we're going with it's a jump from where we're at currently. And we all know the market. Last summer, we were paying $13 an hour to custodians. We increased to 14. And then high school $14.75, that's just not cutting it. We did a lot of analysis in the area. ABM will be starting the minimum salary for custodians, and most of them are from the community, so this is a good thing, is $16.75 with 5 vacation days, 5 holidays, sick days, so benefits. This shows the different positions and the pay. So we feel good about that. We're very competitive with the area. Couple that with they have a talent acquisition team. Every vendor calls it something different, the talent acquisition team, which is so much more than what we've had. So we really feel that we're gonna get a full staff, which would be a really nice thing. So with that, I'd like to let the lady Dina talk.
Speaking on the podium is right up there next to for me, so. Real quick introduction, name's Kyle Fallenbaum, I'm Regional Vice President for ABM. My book of business is only in Michigan, I only do education, and 24 or 25 accounts in Michigan are all K through 12. Book of business is about $60 million, and 95% of that's right here in Southeast Michigan, so there's a huge footprint area. A lot of resources to pull from, being a $7.5 billion company. 2,000 employees in the state of Michigan. We're very, very excited to be a part of the Brandon community. Heard safety 6,000 times or 6 times a night. But that's all we preach about, safety. You want to make sure we provide you and the community safe buildings for your kids and your building occupants coming to every day. So we're very excited to be part of the community. Real quick introductions. Dina Davis, who is a graduate actually of Brandon. She's a regional director of operations who reports directly to me. Our programs and models that we have account managers dedicated only to the district. That account manager report directly. So a very small span of control. I want to make sure you're getting exactly what you need and your concerns are being addressed quickly and at the right level. I also have TJ Beasley. He is equivalent to Dina, but he's going to be assisting with our startup. So you're going to see seeing him a lot as we transition over into our services come later June, maybe July. So I'll make sure you have his face in here as well. Outside of that, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I am more than capable of answering any questions you may have regarding the program, ABM in general. We've all been here a long time. I've worked with ABM for 16 years. TJ, I think 11. Dina, since she graduated from Brandon. I'm a resident from Lake Fenton. Been here numerous times. My daughter plays basketball. She's teammates with Riley Abney. Congrats on her 1,000 point. Very cool stuff. Obviously, great ties here. So I'm excited to take care of a familiar building. It's very exciting for me. And can't say enough. So any questions?
I just wanted to say, I was pretty impressed looking at like the talent management piece and the training piece for your employees. I saw a couple snapshots in there, so I'm really looking forward to like having that, like you said, professionalism come to, you know, the work that we're doing.
We
So
really pushed everybody. We interviewed hard with that training. And in fact, just recently I found out one of our current employer, custodians had never been trained. I'm like, that's why we need this. So we really, really made sure, and we were very impressed with it.
That's our strategic purpose moving forward. We had the 2020 vision, right? The 2020 came and went. Now it's about elevate. We're essentially elevating in technology. We're elevating our employees' experience. We want to make sure they have everything they need to do their job properly and safely. Want to elevate the client experience, being you, making sure you have all the technology we have or available to you. We actually have we'll call it client portal. It's called the client-facing dashboard, where a couple clicks of the mouse you can find out exactly where we're at from a quality standpoint, from surveys. So where we're at from staffing. If you have contract questions, you can figure it out a couple clicks of the mouse. It's very cool. And lastly, want to invest in technology. So I want to make sure we're bringing in the most productive equipment and technology we have to do. But some people think it's a silly business being custodial, but it's really quite extensive. And the faster we can, or the more innovative equipment we have in our program, the faster we work and the higher quality results we have. People enjoy working with it. We're excited.
We're looking forward to this. I'm sure our buildings are too.
I love the challenge.
Thank you.
Yeah, so nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Work your tail off, by the way. She called me every day, 6-7 times a day. What we do, she was a huge part of it. So she definitely gets patted.
Wasn't it the first interview, and I called like, we need to meet you. We need to meet you. Thank you.
It's okay if we depart, or you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great afternoon.
Okay, I have more tonight than typical. The next item is Nate Gillette is here. We have an action item to for the board to approve some wood shop equipment. I just wanted to give a background. Last May, the board did approve relays. After the board approval, Nate went back and was thinking, and he decided he wanted to put that on hold. So he spent the last few months working with Mark, and that's why they're up for approval again tonight. There are 3 replacement lays, plus what was that other machine?
It's a 4-sided molder plate.
Yeah, that thing. Okay, so anyway, I asked Nate, because we're always interested in what's going on with the woodshop class. So he's gonna just spend a little bit, not too much time, and talk about why he needs these machines for his class.
All right, well, thank you for having me tonight, guys. Got a quick 5 or 6 slide presentation for you. So I run the wood shop in the middle school and in the high school. Just kind of a quick background, and this is my second time in front of some of you guys. The equipment that we have upgraded so far in my shop, in the high school shop specifically, has literally jumped us 50 years in technology and in preparation. The machines that we had up there were from 1972. They were from the previous high school that was over here when this one was built. So the upgrading of this from my standpoint, my student standpoint, has been huge. I'm very appreciative of that. The saw that we see here on the left-hand side that my middle school girls using, that upgrade, like I said, represents a huge upgrade in the program, not only from safety standpoint, but just an operational standpoint and functionality for my students as well. So real quick with the program itself, we've seen some huge growths. They continue, the 2 programs continue to be well attended with students. In the middle school, I have 28 to 30 students in each of my classes, the 2 that I run down there. It's kind of the maximum number that we can have in the class. It's for foreseeable future going to stay that way, which is good. In the high school, I run 3 sections each semester. So I run typically it's 2 woodworking sections and 1 construction section. Woodworking 1 and 2 typically has somewhere between 28 or 32 students each semester. Construction will run from 18 to 25, give or take. So one of the things that kind of looking forward in the future, I am interested in offering another class for some of our special needs students, kind of more of an adaptive woodshop class. We are kind of modeling that with a couple of our students. That's what we can see here with some hand-over-hand skills. Based on what I'm seeing this semester, I think it's very doable. And I think it's going to kind of open up a whole new avenue for some of our students who traditionally wouldn't be exposed to these type of skills. Obviously, in a very safe, very comfortable environment that is very adult oriented and led, but that is something to look forward in the future. Some updates to the shop that so far has happened. We've in middle school, we've taken from, I believe the last time those things were touched, the belt sander, disc sander was in the early 90s. And that machine was just flat out broken and needed replaced. That one has been replaced. We've added 2 new mini lathes for middle schoolers to start using. It's 2 new tools for them, very safe tools that kind of allow them to explore bowl making, cup making, things like that, which is pretty fun. We've upgraded to 2 14-inch bandsaws. The 2 that we had were kind of in shambles. They've been beat up pretty good for 30 some odd years, so it was time for new ones. We've added a portable planer, clamps, hand drills, hand tools, again, all from the early 90s. We're upgraded from there, which is time for that. The high school, we've upgraded all 3 of the bandsaws. Again, these were all from 1972. And we'll be adding dust collection to them, which is huge. All machines, just about all the machines I had in high school, except for 2 of them, did not have dust collection systems. So from a health standpoint, not only myself, but my students, dust collection just is a must. So that's currently in the works of being upgraded. We have added a slab flattening table now, so we're able to take and hopefully in the future here and get some of my students working on some slab tables. We can take live edge slabs and turn those into tables. We have upgraded all 34 devices between the 2 programs. In middle schools, about half the devices and all the devices in high school have been upgraded. Again, those were just after 40 years of abuse, it was time. So that was huge for my program. We have a new saw stop table in high school. So that's huge. And that is one of those pieces of equipment that if it detects moisture from a finger, it slams the blade down, slams the piston in the blade and pulls it down fast enough that the worst you get is a paper cut. So rather than losing a finger, if an accident is going to happen, it takes and eliminates an accident. The table saw we had before just was no longer tenable. It had bent arbor to it and some other issues that just was no longer safe for the students. We also added a new router table. So that adds a huge element of diversity for my students in terms of what they can and cannot make, but it's also incredibly safe for them as well with the newer technology on these machines. So that was a huge upgrade for my high school as well. Just real quick, I know some of you have heard this before, but those of you who are new, I kind of want to show you that and reiterate to this again. When we talk about the program, I know this is an expensive program to run. It's not cheap at all. But I do work extremely hard to make sure that I am doing my due diligence as the teacher to pull in as much savings to the program as possible. And some of those savings are, I found a supplier up in Bridgeport for all of our cedar. Massive discounts on that. He's a huge fan of it being in the school, so he's already. That's my phone. I'm a type 1 diabetic. That's telling my sugars will high because of my presentational alerts. He automatically gives me a massive discount on his cedar because he's super excited to see it back in a school program like this. He's just incredibly cheap. He has a couple mills of UP that he gets it all from. So he trucks it down here from Bridgeport and drops it off for us. I have 4 or 5 now contacts locally that I've developed for hardwood that I can take, and they bring in some of their offcuts of rough sawn lumber, and then we can take and plane that and mill it and get it ready for my students to use. Massive discounts as opposed to going from like Armstrong's mill or something like that. The difference between that would be a piece of wood like a black walnut. Go get it from the sawmill, $8, $9, $10, $11 a board foot. I can get it for $2 to $4 a board foot, so it's huge savings. We get a massive discount on paint and stains. I found a gentleman that goes and buys mist tints and things like that from places. He's a retired paint dealer, and he has like 3,000 or 4,000 gallons stashed in his heated barn. I go over there and buy a bunch at one time, and that's what we use to paint supplies. So instead of going to Home Depot and paying on the low end $25 to $30 a gallon of paint, I pay $12 a gallon of paint per stain. Some massive savings for our programs for that. And then also slabs and cutoffs, same thing. I got 2 or 3 dealers around here that will give me huge savings, partly because we're a school, partly because they're kind of, they're not a company. They do it out of their garage, out of their barn type of thing. So this is, well, it's their job. They don't have much overhead. So they're going to pass that on to us. So upgrade, it's still new to the high school. Well, the middle school is pretty well set. When anything else down there in terms of upgrading machines, been plus enough for you guys in the past. I've agreed to upgrading everything I need down there. But in the high school, like Jan had said, the 3 lathes were originally asked last year and agreed to. However, I'm not an electrician. I made a mistake going through the electricity when I asked last time for them, and I didn't ask for the right voltage in the motors. And when we did find that out, I think it was before they were ordered, we really had 2 options. We could go back through and rewire the shop, or we go back through and ask for the correct equipment. I think after talking to Mark and after talking to Stewart Electric, I think it just makes the most sense to ask for a little more expensive machine than try to retrofit in the shop. That way, we're not asking for any troubles in the future with changing up some of the power in the shop. Those 3 lathes are going to be huge for the high school program. They're fairly safe machines in terms of power tools. It's going to allow me to take 3 students again and just kind of let them have fun, if you will, in the class safely, obviously, but it's going to allow them to turn bowls, turn legs if we need to for tables, like the slab tables, to turn bats and things like that you normally wouldn't be able to do, but it's kind of a fun project. And again, it's just kind of a neat thing that's safe for them that I can kind of turn loose, and I don't necessarily have to like worry about a saw or with a bandsaw cutting somewhere or anything of that nature. So I'm super excited to get them. I know my students are. They've been asking me for 2.5 years when we get the lathes back. So I'm excited if those come in. And then the next machine that I would like to ask for is a 4-sided planer molder. So like I talked about with those massive savings, I can get, the difference between $2 to $3 a board foot versus $9 or $10 a board foot. Well, that comes with a price from me. Right now, I have to joint, edge, face joint, and then plane all of those pieces of wood, which takes hours of work. Rough sawn, so it was kind of hard to see from the picture there, but on the top, there's some pictures of what rough sawn looks like versus on the bottom, what side by 4-side, which is what we need to work with, looks like. Rough sawn is a piece of wood that really just has been cut on a mill and then handed to someone. So what that takes is it takes someone running across the joiner, face joining it, which is a fairly dangerous operation for my students to do. They don't like them particularly doing. Then it takes and face joints an edge, then it goes to the planer, planes one side, and then before that gets that, we go to the table saw and rip it down, and then it goes to the planer. So there's multiple steps to that. It usually takes anywhere from a 14-foot board, anywhere from on a good board, 20 minutes up to about 45 or 50 minutes of board. So while I get massive savings for it, it comes at a cost because it's a lot of work. The machine that I would like to have purchased for the shop is able to take in 1 to 2 passes and turn rough saw lumber into 4x4 side lumber, so just instantly ready to use. It's not a cheap machine in my eyes. It's almost $22,000 machine, but based on my kind of my rough calculations of where my 2 programs are at, because this machine will feed my middle school wood and high school wood. I figure somewhere between 6 and 10 years, give or take, how much we actually use in that time, the machine will have paid for itself in savings. And then it will be savings truly for the program in the district as is needed. So I would like to see that kind of machine come in. And then we can take these discounts that I'm getting from our suppliers and then we can take it, like I said, in about 6 to 10 years, we truly can pass that on to the program and move on from there. The last slide I have, just kind of a reiteration for this, for me, from my standpoint as a teacher, safety is huge for me. All right, I'm trusted with 140, 150 students each semester, and I don't take that lightly in terms of the machines that these students use, in terms of what we do in the shop. Obviously, the shop is inherently dangerous. We're using power tools. For a lot of these students, this is the first time around they're touching them. For some students, it's not. They're kind of old hats at them, but a lot of them, they're nervous around them. They're new to them. So I want to make sure that they have the best equipment that my program can offer from a safety standpoint. And, that they don't have to physically worry about anything being wrong with the machines or not being the safest that I can put in front of them. Which, comes with the upgrades we've already done, and it comes with just the last few upgrades. After this, I do not foresee any need coming in front of the board and asking for any more equipment in the foreseeable future. Quite frankly, probably till I retire, given these machines. They should last till I'm out of here. Anything else can happen within my budget, but I shouldn't need to help anything beyond that. The other thing that I would like to say is this year, last year too, but this year, because full-time with me now, I guess not last year, but started this year, but now he's full-time with me. We have a parapro with me full-time. He goes to the middle school with me in the morning and then comes with me in the high school to work with me, which is huge. To have a second set of eyes with 25, 30 kids in the shop, to be able to give individualized instruction to my students. For a lot of them, it's 1-on-1 or 1-on-3 or 4 at the table. And then there's 20, 25 kids floating around, trying to use machines and trying to be safe. So that second set of eyes was absolutely huge for me. So I just want to kind of highlight that for you guys, that was huge. And then I'd just like to say, from the continued investment that we had to upgrade my shop from literally 50 years ago to modern equipment, that was huge. I'm very appreciative of that. And these last few quick pieces of equipment, if we can get those put in the shop, I would be greatly appreciative of that. Any questions for me, guys?
I mean, thank you. That was very thorough. I feel like that really helped us understand what you need. And I personally appreciate it because I know you have my kids every year. I think I saw one there.
You did.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I like that you said something about retiring here. So that was nice too.
I'm not gonna say I'm not going anywhere else, but at this stage of the game, I have no interest in going anywhere. I'm happy here. I'm happy with the kids. I'm happy with what the board has, the district has agreed to with my shop. I don't think I'm really gonna find a shop like this much anywhere else in terms of all this equipment and the investment that's been put into it. So I honestly have no interest in leaving at this stage, so.
Thank you.
I just want to add that we will be funding this purchase if you approve out of the Belen sale proceeds. So this will not impact the current bond or general fund.
Thank you guys.
All right, thank you.
Also, we did get some extra VOCAD money the last 2 years, so that's how some of the supplies he talked about, they're not eligible to come out of our regular VOCAD money. Like the middle school supplies, the regular VOCAD wouldn't allow us, so we were able to use that money to upgrade the middle school as well. So that's my next item is ROK. Just real quick, every week in board notes, you're reading about ROK because it's been a little bit of a disaster, but we're getting there. So fingers crossed. We meet weekly. Thomas, myself, sometimes Jeremy joins. Lately, he hasn't been. And with the ROK, the head guy Scott, and now their new manager, and we're making good progress. At the high school now, he's able to monitor a lot of the new cameras, which we weren't doing before. So that's just that's a good thing. Everything is going well. We feel confident that we're at the final finish line there, and I'm hoping I can tell you next month that that project is good. So we, thank you for your patience on that. And, I think, I think we can see the light. So, any questions? The last one I have for you is, paint quotes. What happened with this is it wasn't originally part of the bond to paint the gym. But getting in the new bleachers, and Jesse, our athletic director, he's just looking at everything, and he came to us one day and said, you know, could we paint it? I checked with our bond, Christopher Marino, to make sure we could pay for that out of bond first. Always want to make sure we have a funding source. And we can do that because we're demolishing the current bleachers, therefore we're allowed to paint the gym. If we wanted to just do this down the road and we weren't putting in bleachers, then it would have to come out of the general fund. So now there is an opportunity, plus it needs painted. It truly does, according to Mark, who knows everything. It hasn't been painted like, I don't know, 20, 30 years, some crazy number. So these paint quotes, we got, I have 3 paint quotes currently. I talked to Rebecca and Carly earlier, and I don't think we're ready to have these quotes approved, but what I would like tonight from the board is if you want to go forward with a paint, I think we need to do a more formal bidding quoting process to make sure this, like, get the, the specs. Rebecca found out like they were going to use some paint that was inferior, one of the quotes. And so we need to just make sure that we're getting exactly everything the way it needs to be, and then have the board approve that next month. So tonight it'll be just, if you want to go forward, we were looking, if we do the ceiling, which if you look up the ceiling, it's pretty bad. So if we do the whole thing, we're probably in the $50,000 to $60,000 range, which is that's a big number. But again, the gym really will be like looking brand new. So that's where we're at with the paint quote for tonight.
A very superficial question.
Yeah.
About paint.
Yeah.
And going out for bid. Well, what's the look gonna be, right? When you go for that quote, do companies have like interior design people who will?
We talked about a group or a small team or something to get together. We first wanted, the thought right now for the quote would be, the bottom would kind of stay blue because the padding is blue. And then just kind of keep the clean on the top, like a white or a white. And Rebecca can maybe speak to that. a
Well,
little
we
bit.
were just discussing just kind of. I don't know, have you seen it lately? It has those rectangle, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen it.
So we were thinking just white and then like a blue stripe at the top with black dots, and that's it. And then the ceiling, depending on, how the lighting would look, it would either be white, which it currently is, except it's yellow, so it doesn't look white, or black, depending on, if that affects the lighting, then we wouldn't want to do that. But it would just be real simple and cleaned up.
The bleachers that are coming in are random blue.
With black like railings and stuff. So it's going to be really sharp.
Yeah.
But the thought was to do like the basic, like Rebecca said, the blue and the white, and then the ceiling either black or white. That should not affect a quote and the stripe. And then decide a team or there would be a group that would decide the actual, before they came in.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. And they can do this in June. The vendors that we've talked to June is a timeline because the current bleachers are demolished in May, and the new bleachers, according to Brian Smilnak, are going in starting in early July. It takes about a good 6 weeks. So if we want this done before school starts, June was the optimal time to do this. Yeah. So we're kind of on a short timeline, but we've been told by these vendors that they can do it. So. It was kind of last minute. It just had never been brought up before. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. I appreciate it. Yeah. Okay. Because we just have to change the motion then, G. Maria, do you have that language?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
I need one question.
You want?
Whoever, because we have to read it.
Oh, sure. Approval to solicit paint quotes / bids for the Brandon High School gym.
We don't technically have to bid it because it's a purchase service. That's why it was bid / quotes.
Just was a paint quote / bid for VHS gym.
Okay. All right, we're gonna move to action items. Approval of BHS freshman STEM classes overnight trip to the MDOT bridge competition. Can I get a motion?
Approval of the BHS freshman STEM classes overnight trip to MDOT bridge competition. Move the Brandon Board of Education approve I read the wrong thing, I'm so sorry. Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the BHS freshman STEM classes overnight trip to Lansing, Michigan for the state of Michigan bridge competition, April 26th through 27th, 2023 is presented.
Support.
I will not read that.
Yes, you will. Can I get a roll call vote?
Jane,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Hillary,
Yes.
Jeff, yes, Rebecca,
Yes. Approval of human resource report.
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the human resource report as presented.
Second. Fourth.
Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Jane,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Hillary,
Yes.
Jeff, yes, Rebecca,
Yes. Board recommendations for custodial service vendor.
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the recommendation of a 3-year contract with ABM for custodial service as presented.
support.
Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Jane,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Hillary,
Yes.
Jeff, yes, Rebecca,
Yes. Resolution authorizing custodial services contract. Can I get a motion?
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the resolution authorizing custodial services contract with ABM Industries, Inc. as presented.
Support.
Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Jane,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Hillary,
Yes.
Jeff, yes, Rebecca,
Yes. Approval of woodworking equipment purchase.
Move the Brandon. Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the purchase of woodworking equipment as presented.
support.
Any discussion? That was a lot. Yeah. Can I get a roll call vote?
Jane,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Hillary,
Yes.
Jeff, yes, Rebecca,
Yes. Approval of custodial equipment purchase.
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the purchase of custodial equipment as presented.
Support.
Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Jane,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Hillary,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes. Approval to solicit paint quote bids for the BHS gym.
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve to solicit paint quote / bid the BHS gym as presented.
Support.
Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Jane,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Hillary,
Yes.
Jeff, yes, Rebecca,
Yes. Okay, and then last is citizen input.
No hands raised.
No? Okay. And then with that, we will be going to the closed session. Can I get a motion?
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve to enter a closed session for the purpose of security planning as presented.
Can I get a roll call vote?
Jane,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Hillary,
Yes.
yes, Rebecca,
Yes.